If you're looking for a folding electric bike but still want to stay within the legal limits, this might be the bike for you. Big shout out goes out to Engwe for reaching out to me and asking me to review one of their brand new electric bikes. This is the L20 3.0 model. In this review, I'm going to go over everything there is to know about this folding electric bike. But first, let's get started with the specs. So this is the brand new Engwe L20 3.0 folding electric bike. It features a 750 watt, 1500 watt peak hub motor in the rear with 90 Newton meters of torque, coupled with a 48 volts 15 amp hour removable battery. Engwe claims that this should give you a range of up to 60 miles using pedal assist mode 1, and depending on riding conditions, of course. We have 20-inch by 3-inch puncture resistant tires, coupled with hydraulic brakes front and rear with 203mm rotors. This bike also has a front suspension fork with preload adjustment, as well as lockout, as well as a rear monoshock for a smooth, comfortable ride, a Shimano 8-speed with the Shimano derailleur, a fairly large adjustable seat, adjustable handlebars, a folding handlebar stem, as well as a folding frame design with a pretty sturdy locking mechanism, as well as a rear rack for storage. In the front of the bike, we have a dual LED headlight that's decently bright, and in the rear we have a taillight and an active brake light. The total weight of this bike is 76.1 pounds with the max load capacity of 330 pounds, and it is UL 2849 certified and IPX4 rated. And up on the handlebars we have our rear brake and our Shimano gear switcher. In the center we have a color display, and on the left side we have our front brake, our thumb throttle, our on, off and mode selection buttons, an optional bell, and a horn. And that's pretty much it for the specs. Now, as far as the price, this current model goes for $13.99 or just about $1,400, but I will have a discount code for you guys that'll be in the description down below, along with a link if you're interested in this model. Now let's keep things moving and jump straight into our speed test. Now, very quickly, before I do the speed test, I just want to talk about the starting procedure. This bike has a removable battery, and that battery does have an on-off switch. So when you do get the bike, you do have to get it comes with 2 keys. You have to put the keys in here, open up the battery, take it out, flick that switch on, and put it back in order for the bike to turn on. Once you're on the bike, we just have a power button over here. You hit that for a couple of seconds, and the bike will turn on. Now, this bike has 5 pedal assist modes. 0 means no throttle, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For our speed test, I'm going to be testing mode 5. Now, one final thing I do have to mention is this bike comes locked at class 2 out of the box, which means 20 miles an hour max speed, but you can unlock that. In order to unlock it, you have to hit the plus and minus buttons at the same time for like 2 seconds to enter the menu. Once you're in the menu, you hit the plus button alone for 5 seconds, let go, and then you hit the minus button for 5 seconds, and that will unlock it from class 2 to class 3, meaning we can potentially hit up to 28 miles an hour. I already unlocked mine, so I'm going to be testing speed mode 5 unlocked. So I got my GPS open and ready to go. That is in my pocket. Let's see how fast this thing can go. In pedal assist mode 5, I'm going to be using throttle only. Now, the takeoff on this bike, it's pretty good. It did have a slight delay, maybe of like, 0.5 seconds, so half a second delay before it starts going. But man, it already reached its potential top speed of 28 miles an hour. The display is like showing 27.9 and bouncing between 28 here and there. There you go, 28.1. Now, I'll be honest with you, if I can get anywhere over 25 miles per hour GPS verified, I'd consider it a successful speed test. And let's see what happens. This should be plenty of time for my GPS app to register the speed. Let's check our results. Okay, so my GPS app clocked us at 26.8 miles per hour. So 26.8 miles an hour with my weight on it, 160 pounds. So not the exact 28 miles an hour, but at the same time, results may vary between rider to rider, road conditions, weather outside, all that stuff will come into play. But we did pass 25 miles an hour, and I said if I passed 25 miles an hour, I'd consider it a successful speed test. So that was a successful speed test. Now, before I talk about the riding experience, I do want to talk about the brand for a second. Engwe has been around forever. Definitely one of the well-known brands and players in this e-bike game. I've worked with them plenty of times in the past, and they got some really good high-quality products. So as far as that goes, great brand. Now, for the riding experience, this bike is so light, and the front of it is so light that you feel like you can just throw this thing around. And in general, this thing feels really agile, like extremely agile. It's so light, you can just, that front just goes anywhere you want. It feels really good, and it feels fairly stable for a light bike. Let's see just how stable this thing really is. Oh my god, it's so light in the front that it kind of feels like it's gonna get thrown around, but it's fairly stable. I was able to go over a bump with no hands, stayed pretty straight. As far as the brakes go, these brakes are insane. Hydraulic brakes with a pretty large rotor, 203 millimeters. That is insane. Making my way up to about 20 miles an hour, hitting the brake in 3, 2. Oh my god, that was immediate. Holy cow. So we're looking at an estimated stopping distance of about 20 to 23 feet or so from about 20 miles an hour. Now this should get better with time as the brakes bed in, and you should expect better results because, like I said, that 203 millimeter rotor is massive for a light bike like this. Very good brakes, and overall a pretty comfortable riding experience. So this is our suspension over here. That front fork is actually decent, even though it's like basic and generic. It's like on the higher end of basic. It feels pretty good. It's not like bouncy like a pogo stick. It's pretty nice. And as far as the rear goes, I do feel that the shock is there, but it's a little bit too stiff in my opinion. Let's see how this thing does over a bump while sitting down. Okay, a little harsh, but not too bad. Better than I thought it would be, not as bouncy. Now let's see how it does over a bump standing up. Yeah, that felt a lot better. I might have gotten like an inch of air on that one. Now this thing is definitely not made for it, but let's see how it does with a little curb hop over here. Oh yeah, see how that front lifted more than typical, because I do this test all the time. Because the front of this bike is so light, you can easily lift it up pretty good and actually handled the jump with no problem. Again, it's not like you're gonna be going and doing crazy jumps on this bike. I view it more as a commuter, maybe some light off-road stuff, which we'll test later, but in my opinion it's more of a commuter. So the suspension is decent enough and definitely perfect for road riding. So I'm 5'8", 160 pounds. This is what I look like on this bike. The cool thing about this bike is that it's super customizable, right? So the seat can go up and down, the handlebars can go up and down. So even if you're taller than 5'8", you can definitely make this bike fit you. And I can even see shorter people than 5'8" fitting on this bike just right. It is pretty nice. As far as pedaling goes, let's check that out real quick. Got plenty of room over here. I'm not too crunched up. Very natural feeling. Feels pretty good. Now I do want to show you the seat real quick. Let's take a look at that. So this is our seat, saddle, call it whatever you want to call it. It's fairly wide and about the regular size of like a mountain bike seat from like lengthwise. As far as comfort level, I consider this medium to stiff. It might break in with time and become more comfortable. It's not like it's uncomfortable now, but I wish it was softer. It would make it better. Again, maybe it'll break in with time and become softer, but overall the size and fit on this bike is pretty good and will fit a wide spectrum of people, so I like that. As far as the tune goes, like I said earlier, we do have 5 different speed modes, and we have the locked and unlocked stage, so that's pretty cool. And I do want to show you the throttle response real quick. I'm going to lose all my speed. I'm in pedal assist mode 5, and look at that, I can barely touch the throttle and make this thing crawl. So what I'm trying to show you is that it's not 0 to 100, and the turning radius on this thing is insane. And then when you need the power, give it full beans and this thing goes. Now, it's not the fastest bike in the world, but it gets up to its top speed fairly quick. Like, this motor has got some balls. The one thing I will say that it's not my personal favorite is having the thumb throttle on the left side. Now, it's not the end of the world. You get used to it fairly quick, and it's like you don't think about it anymore. But I'm just so used to having it on the right, you know, whether it's a half twist throttle or the thumb on the right. I'm just used to having it there, but you get used to it fairly quick. But I'll just throw it in this section as something that I don't fully like. Now, as far as the pedal assist goes, let's check that out. I'm starting with my left foot forward. Half a revolution, and start going. Now, the thing about this particular bike is it has both a torque sensor or a cadence sensor. I think you can switch between the two in the app. It comes with an app. The way it is right now is the slower you pedal, like as you pedal, that's the amount of power you'll get. So if I go a little harder, see that motor kicks in. But when you're trying to go full speed, it's kind of difficult keeping that up. I personally like it where as I twist the pedals, it's just going to give me full power no matter how I'm twisting the pedals. But some people prefer this way, some people the other. You do have both options. And lastly, the fact that you can unlock this bike from class 2 to class 3, and it's a pretty simple process, that I really like. Overall, great tune. Now, for what could possibly be the toughest test yet for this bike in this review, I'm talking about this hill climb. I'm going to be in pedal assist mode 5, of course, trying to use throttle only. Let's see, am I going to need to pedal, or will this motor have enough juice to carry my ass up this hill, 160 pounds, plus the weight of the bike. Now, this hill never comes across on camera. It's fairly steep. And actually, I'm surprised the bike is doing really well. We are gonna lose some speed, and that's given, but as long as we're climbing, that's like what I'm looking for. Bike dropped to about 18.7 miles an hour, but actually managed to climb this thing without any sign of struggle. That is impressive. So if you're looking into this bike and you live in an area with hills, or hills are part of your commute, you should have a general idea of what this thing is capable of. Now, I don't personally consider this bike, you know, a crazy off-roader. It is capable to doing some light trail work, let's call that. But it is a review, so I kind of want to test it out. Now, where I'm at right now kind of fits in that light trail work category. It's like a park, fairly flat. There is some like loose beach sand style, but shouldn't be a problem for this bike. But I am making my way to something that's a little bit more demanding. Nothing too crazy though. This section over here is short, but it's a bit bumpier. Again, the GoPro never really shows it. You may hear it on my voice. It's a bit bumpier, and then we have this like mini hill climb over here. It's fairly steep, so let me try to lose all my speed and see, will the motor have enough juice? Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, this thing is, it's like small but mighty. Check it out. This thing is crazy. And as far as power, look at this. It's like wheeling and spinning out. That is crazy. That's pretty powerful for a small bike like this. Let's test our fork on a little mini downhill bit. Yeah, dude, pretty decent. Fairly quiet too. I would personally keep this bike more as a commuter, run some errands, go to the boardwalk, things like that. But it is capable of doing some light trail work. So what do I think about the brand new Engwe L20 3.0? Let's do things I like and things I don't like. I'll start with things I like, and there are a few. So I like the way this thing looks. It kind of grew on me, the whole design. I like that color too, this champagne-y type of color. Kind of looks cool. I like the power of that motor. It's a small bike, so the power to weight ratio on here is pretty good. I like those brakes and rotors too. Man, those rotors are massive, really nice. Makes you feel very confident on this thing. And I like how custom this bike is. The seat can go up and down, the handlebars up and down. You can definitely fit a variety of different people and different heights. Very good. Another thing which I may have not mentioned throughout the review is this bike has like a GPS tracker on there. So it does come with an app, and you can connect to this so you can see where this bike is at all times. That's pretty good for those of you who want that extra security. Very good to have. And lastly, I love the fact that you can unlock this bike from class 2 to class 3, and it's a pretty easy process. That's very nice in my opinion. Now let's do things I don't like, and throughout the review I tried thinking about something I don't like, just so I'm honest with you guys. In this case, there will be two. One of them is I wish I'd had rather than I don't like, but let's start with the first one. First one is I don't fully like the fact that I wasn't able to hit 28 miles an hour. Now again, results may vary. You might be able to get a faster top speed than I was able to get to. I wasn't able to hit 28 miles an hour, so I kind of don't fully like that. The second thing would be that rear shock. Now for road riding, the front is excellent and the rear is decent, but if it was like 20% softer, it would have made for a much better ride. So that's just one thing that I'll throw in there. Other than that, this bike is great. Now we'll have a discount code for you guys. That'll be in the description down below, along with a link as well as in a pinned comment. So if you're looking for a lightweight folding electric bike, this is a pretty good option right here. Now some of you may be yelling at the screen right now like, yo dude, it's a folding bike and you didn't show us how to fold it and unfold it and this and that. Guys, I mean, it's such an easy process. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think that I need to explain how to do it, but I'll give you a general idea. The handlebar here, hopefully you can see it. There's a little nub. The nub goes up, this pulls away, and then the handlebar can fold. And when you're done, put it back up, put this, wait for that click, and that's ready to go. As far as the frame itself, same concept. The nub goes forward, this pulls out, and you can fold the bike, and when you put it back together, just make sure you hear the click. Again, it's pretty straightforward, and I don't really think that I need to show you how to do that in order for you to get it. It's pretty easy, guys. Now I'm pretty sure I was able to go over everything there is to know about the brand new Engwe L20 3.0 folding electric bike. I appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.